Am I the a-hole for being upset that I'm not involved in my brother's wedding, which I'm paying for? I, female 31, have a brother, male 29, and he's getting married next year. We lost our mom in 2012 and our dad in 2016, and we are each other's only living relatives. I have a good job. I earn a lot of money, £150,000 per year. My brother also has a good job, but doesn't earn anywhere near as much, £35,000. We were raised to always look after each other and share. My partner and I are child-free. Over the years, I have paid my brother's master's degree, paid a down payment on his house. Our parents rented, so there was no family home. I will also be paying for my future sister-in-law, female 26, and my brother to have future rounds of IVF. Sister-in-law works part-time and earns about $50,000 a year. Her parents are not well off. My brother asked if I could contribute to the cost of the wedding. I said I'd pay for it, rented a mall with 100 guests, and set up a wedding account for them into which I put £25,000, which they both have access to. Sister-in-law's entire family are involved as bridesmaids and groomsmen, while my husband and I are just guests. Brother and sister-in-law have been going around venues with their family, and I get emailed the costing if it's selected. I told my brother I don't mind paying for the wedding, but I feel really weird that everyone else is involved in the decision and I'm just involved with paying. Brother has said that I'm not our parents. I can't replace our parents, and that's why I'm not involved. Why can't I just do something nice without making him feel crap? I feel like an a-hole for causing drama, but also feel taken advantage of. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You are not his parents, but let's face it. You have certainly financially supported him like one in so many different ways. And it doesn't sound like you are trying to control things. Just want to be included the same as sister-in-law's family has been. Now that he is going to be a great big married adult, I think it is time you cut off your support and let him be the independent person he is. You are not the a-hole. He wants to cut you out of even being involved? Then he doesn't need your money. He has it right. You're not his parent, so stop acting like it. He's an adult. He can worry about his own finances. I don't think you should even pay for the wedding. If he's behaving like this now, he'll just cut you off and contact again when he needs help. So not worth of your efforts and money. Not the a-hole obviously, but he's a major one. Having made a commitment to pay for the wedding, backing out would be an a-hole move, especially as there was no discussion of what involvement OP would have. To impose retrospective conditions is not fair. However, going forward, OP's sibling is not entitled to anything. I hope OP hasn't actually promised them anything concrete about the IVF. Not the a-hole. You are paying for entirely too much. If they can't afford a wedding on their own, then they can't afford kids. You need to stop being the gravy train. They also need to reduce the cost of the wedding. £25,000? Not the a-hole. You're being taken advantage of. What kind of a relationship do you have? Because this looks like it only comes down to money when talking about your brother. Edit. After reading your replies, the sisters are bridesmaids. The brothers of the bride are groomsmen. You didn't even get an invite to the engagement party? You have paid for so much stuff aside from their wedding. Also pretend to pay for IVF. Let me tell you, if they don't have enough money for IVF, they probably don't have enough to maintain a child. I advise you to please stop paying for their stuff. It's too much. They probably will ask OP for support on a regular basis. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my sister-in-law to my wedding? Backstory. My 26 male older brother Jack, 32 male, was once the golden child of the family. Then when he started dating Jill, 32 female, our mother became weirdly jealous. She would constantly run Jill down behind her back and would always make snarky remarks to her face. To her credit, Jill never retaliated and always remained friendly. When Jack and Jill got married, my mother's behavior towards her worsened, to the point she ruined their wedding day. When Jack announced that they were having a baby, Mom suddenly wanted to be Jill's best friend. This changed again soon as Jill gave birth to my niece. I won't go into detail, but her behavior resulted in Jack and Jill going no contact with her. It has been 3 years since all of this occurred. I still speak to all of them and see my mother regularly. I recently got engaged to my partner Laura, 24 female, and we have been planning our wedding. I've asked Jack to be my best man, and he agreed. Since we will be busy most of the day, his interactions with mom will be pretty limited. I was feeling confident that our day would be drama-free until Laura came home from wedding dress shopping looking stressed out. When I asked her what was wrong, and she told me that my mom, who was invited along with her mother and our bridesmaids, made a comment about how she was looking forward to putting Jill in her place at the wedding. Apparently, she then ran Jill down to anyone that would listen and made everyone feel uncomfortable. Understandably, we both became worried that mom's feud with Jill would ruin our wedding day. So we came to the decision to invite Jill in order to avoid this. When I spoke to Jack about our decision, he got upset and kept repeating that this was his wife, the mother of his child and my sister-in-law that we were excluding for something that wasn't her fault. I repeatedly told him that I think Jill is great and that I don't think she has done anything wrong, but I don't want drama in my wedding day or for her to be put into an uncomfortable situation with our mother. Jack ended up telling me that if mom can't even last a day without starting drama, then maybe I should be reassessing who needs to be uninvited, and that if his wife couldn't attend, he wouldn't either. I feel like I am stuck behind a rock at a hard place here. I know Jill hasn't done anything wrong, and have never been able to understand why mom is so rude to her when she has always been nice to Laura. I know that my mom is the one in the wrong with all of this, but she is my mother and want her at my wedding. Just to add, Jill texted me after my conversation with Jack and told me that she understands and not to worry. She would talk to Jack once it calmed down. You're the a-hole. You're punishing the victim and enabling an abuser. Couldn't have said it better myself. You're the a-hole. I mean, it really is that simple. I know it's their wedding and all that, but the my wedding, my rules excuse goes away when it means enabling mistreatment/bullying. There's no other factor weighing in his decision. It's a choice between having his mom and the best man's wife, his sister-in-law, who she bullied at his wedding. Jill isn't the one starting drama. Why would she be punished for it? If anything, uninvite the bully. Opie's choice will communicate to his mom that alienating and bullying Jill with her mean girl tricks is okay and leads to no consequences. Like, take a hard look at the situation. Even the event that leads Opie and his bride to uninvite Jill was caused by his mother, making everyone uncomfortable. She's so nice to Laura. What makes Opie think she won't set her sights on his wife one day? And if she does, what will Opie do? Stand there with his enabling ways while mommy dearest bullies Laura? You're the a-hole. Your mother is the root cause of these problems, not Jill. Either confront her like an adult and ask her to act like a mature person, or uninvite her to the wedding. Uninviting Jill absolutely makes you the a-hole. Better yet, uninvite your mom from your life. She sounds like a toxic textbook abuser. Yep, definitely. Jill should be invited because she is your brother's wife and she has done nothing wrong. And this is a good hill for Jack to die on. Your mother is the one that should be uninvited. She's definitely an a-hole. You're the a-hole. Jack is right. You're punishing the victim of bullying and mistreatment and rewarding your mom's terrible behavior. Thank goodness Jill has a husband to stand up for her. Laura obviously does not. Laura better sees this as a red flag in her relationship. Opie's now the golden child and married to his mom. You're the a-hole. While gown shopping for your future bride's dress, your mother announces how she cannot wait to make your wedding all about her issues with your sister-in-law. And your response is to ban your sister-in-law and not your mother? What the heck is wrong with you? She's already taken that joyful, happy occasion and made it about herself. I mean, I'm guessing you have said absolutely nothing to your mom just how out of line that was. They're out looking to buy the dress she says I do in. And your mom decides it's about her and make herself the focus. Dude, you've got to stand up for yourself and your future bride. This isn't your mom's opportunity to shame someone. This is for you and your future bride to share with the people who love and support you. Get your head out of your bottom. Apologize to your brother, your sister-in-law, and especially your bride. Then tell your mother she's no longer invited. Tell her you have hired a couple off-duty police officers to make sure she's unable to gain entry. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my wife to shut the heck up because of the remark she made towards my 16-year-old sister? My male 28 sister, female 16, was diagnosed with cancer in 2021, and treatment has been hard on her. She's the shy type and can be incredibly insecure and lack confidence about her looks. Any remark, no matter how small, would get to her and affect her right away. It's a while since I've seen her, and the other day I was FaceTiming her and my parents to check on her. My wife joined us and sat next to me without taking her eyes off my sister. Note that my wife is a makeup artist and tends to make plenty of assumptions about other women's faces, which isn't a cool thing. But anyway, my wife started talking to my sister about whether or not she started caring for her skin. And my sister said she recently started a clean and clear lotion to improve her look. But my wife chuckled and said that clearly this product isn't working because she, my sister, still looked like a cancer patient even though she's recovered. I was stunned, and so were my parents. My sister immediately got up and left the room. I looked at my wife and told her what she said was messed up, and that she should shut the hell up with her nonsense remarks, because she just insulted and hurt my sister. She started backpedaling, saying she was just giving her opinion, and a fight started. My parents hung up, and my wife flipped out, saying I humiliated her by telling her to STHU in front of my parents, and claimed I had no respect for her to speak to her like that. I told her what she said made my sister cry, knowing that she's been through hell, and can be very insecure about her self-image. But my wife argued that she's being too sensitive, and she was again just giving her opinion and giving her advice in terms of skincare. I stormed off, leaving her yelling about what an a-hole I was to speak to her this way, and ruined the respect my parents had for her. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Bullying your little sister who suffered through freaking cancer for her looks is divorce material. Was she a high school mean girl or something? Did you find her on a set of a teenage drama movie? The audacity to speak like this to your sister. I cannot stay with that person. Do you plan on having children? Isn't makeup about empowerment? Sorry, but this got my blood boiling. I'm ready to call you an a-hole if you do not seriously think that relationship. This. Not an a-hole to OP for standing up for your little sister, but you could be one if you're not considering divorce. Unacceptable behavior, and no apology or feelings of remorse. Agreed. This is divorce-worthy behavior. She's a makeup artist. If she wanted, she could have helped OP's sister with her looks tremendously. But instead of doing right by her sister-in-law, who's previously struggling, she chose to drag her down. It's not just an opinion. If nobody asks for her opinion, said opinion will just be a potentially hurtful remark no one asked for. She knows exactly what she was doing, but flipped out when OP rightfully called her out on it. Note my wife is a makeup artist and tends to make plenty of assumptions about other women's faces, which isn't a cool thing. I'm so glad you noticed that about her, but have you ever confronted her on that? I kept reading and Jesus Christ on a stick. I would have shut the laptop straight away while your wife was still talking. Giving her opinion? Guess what, lady? Not everything that falls from your mouth is straight gold or wanted. Oh my god, I wouldn't know how to be with a person like this. So toxic and oblivious to their own terrible behavior. Not an a-hole. Edit. Came back after I recovered a little. Your wife is a terrible, terrible and small person. She told your baby sister, of 16 years old, a teenager who at that age struggles enough with self-confidence issues, and a cancer survivor on top of that she looks terrible. And after that tries to die on the hill that you ruined and respect of your parents for her? I've spent 2 years working on myself and thought I hung up the pitchforks because I tried to act more mature and composed on the internet. But I'm getting twitchy in my fingers for that pitchfork. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to invite my estranged mother-in-law to my daughter's birthday? When I was dating my now husband, his mom didn't seem to like me and we had a couple issues, which I'd say had to do with her not handling change well, or us just being very different people and struggling to understand each other. But the relationship wasn't awful. When we got engaged, she rolled her eyes and made snarky comments, but she did offer to pay. She had quite a bit of money, so we didn't think anything of it. It accepted. She was kind of rude during wedding planning, but I didn't think much of it. Then she walked out of wedding dress shopping, pulled all her money out of the wedding, and stopped speaking to us. To be clear, nothing happened. She just stood up and walked out. The only minor explanation I got was from her sister, who said she just feels like it is never about her, and she is sick of paying for other people to have things. I didn't get it at all. It wasn't about her and she didn't have to pay. She offered. My husband tried to contact her, but she was adamant that she wanted no contact. He let go, and we didn't see her for 10 years. Then ran into her somewhere and they reconnected. She's married now. He has 2 sisters he's never met, and we have 3 kids she's never met. My husband wanted a relationship with her, and mother-in-law was open to it. He met with her a couple times, and she never gave any explanation for ghosting us beyond a relationship wasn't working for her, and she was sick of doing things for other people. But besides paying, which she offered, she never did anything for anyone. I have no respect for her, but I'm fine with my husband wanting a relationship. I had dinner with her and her husband once, and she showed absolutely zero remorse. The issue is my husband invited her to our daughter's birthday without consulting me. He admits he got carried away and never should have done that, but would like her to come and bring her 2 kids. I am not comfortable at all with this. I don't want her to meet my kids. I don't think a birthday party is the appropriate place. If she had shown some remorse, I would feel differently. Not today home. A child birthday is definitely not an appropriate time for the children to meet their relatives. Your husband needs to cancel the invite immediately. Not today home. People who are sideline observers don't get tickets to the main event. Not today home. After everything she has done, he let her return into your lives as nothing? No way. I will put a stop there. Your mother-in-law's the a-hole, but your husband is too. These things must be talked between both parts, because marriage means that you're a team. And being 10 years without contact, I don't know. It seems to me that he was in contact with her. I don't find any reason why after 10 years they decided to reconnect just because they ran into one another. Not stay whole. Protect your child from a toxic person. I don't believe they were in contact. I know he tried to contact her a few times and she asked to be left alone. He seemed genuinely shocked when he saw her with her 2 new kids. They just ran into each other and he took the opportunity, and mother-in-law was open to it. But to be honest, doesn't seem very affected by any of this. Info. Can you shed any light on why she would reject her child like that? A man who did nothing wrong. It's unfathomable to me. I think she was tired of paying for other people's weddings. She had been paying her parents' bills since she was like 12 or 13. She had paid for 2 weddings before this and never got one of her own. She was lonely and wanted a man, but worked all the time and had no social skills from getting homeschooled. She was homeschooled. She was working. Seeing me, who she never liked happy, set her off. She probably had him too young and felt trapped, but I seemed to be the catalyst that she wouldn't take it anymore. Am I the a-hole for exposing my ex-fiancé's mistress 12 years later? 12 years ago, I, 36 female, was engaged and about to get married to Carl, fake name. Everything in my life seemed perfect, until I found out my fiancé was having an affair with a new hire at his job named Camilla, 20s female. Both of them were in serious relationships at a time. I broke off the engagement with Carl as soon as I found out, and informed Camilla's boyfriend about the cheating. It was hard for me, but I moved on after months of therapy and the support of my friends and family. Now, I am married to Henry, 41 male, my amazing husband and the father of our children, 9 female, 7 male, and 4 female. Years ago, I moved to the other side of the country and never thought about my ex-fiancé or the cheating again. My husband works at a law firm. Last year, they hired a new lawyer, Daniel, 34 male, who moved with his family to live in our area. He and my husband became very good friends, as they have similar interests and personalities. Henry asked me to invite Daniel's family to our house to help them adjust to the new city and his new job. When Daniel came to my house for a play date for our kids, his kids are 4 male and 2 female, he introduced us to his wife, Cam, 30s female. Well, Cam was Camilla. I didn't know how to react when I recognized her, and I had the impression that she recognized me too. Our husbands didn't understand why everything seemed so tense, and we both pretended not to know each other, making awkward and failed attempts at small talk. After about an hour, Camilla made up an excuse and her family left. Henry noticed my behavior and asked me what was going on. I told him everything. He already knew about my past with Carl and the affair. Later that day, I received a text from Camilla begging me not to tell Daniel about our past. I read the message but didn't reply. I decided not to say anything and to mind my own business. This was not my problem anymore. After a week of silence, Daniel showed up at our doorstep looking very agitated. He talked to my husband alone, and afterward, Henry asked me to tell Daniel my version of everything. Like my husband, Daniel realized something strange had happened during our meeting and had spent the week trying to get answers from his wife. She refused to tell him what happened, and instead tried to claim that I was her ex-boyfriend's side chick, which was why things had been so tense. Daniel didn't believe her story, and they had a massive fight. Afterward, he realized I was the one who could tell him the truth, and he asked me directly. I told him everything. I even showed him the text message Camilla had sent me. I didn't feel the need to sugarcoat anything, especially since Camilla was out there spreading lies about me. Daniel was in complete shock because cheating is a trigger for him. His father cheated on his mother for years and left the family for his mistress, which made him hate cheaters. Camilla had known this since their first date. Daniel left our house looking defeated, and later that same day, I received a call from Camilla accusing me of being a vengeful bee. She said I was trying to destroy her life. I don't think I was wrong for telling the truth, but this happened last year, and I still receive calls and random messages from people close to Camilla saying I'm an a-hole for exposing her past to her husband. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You told the truth after she told lies. Did she expect you to go along with what she said so you could be the bad guy for as long as your husband and Daniel are workmates? I don't know what she was thinking. I have no reason to lie to cover her. This is a perfect example of F around and find out. She didn't think her poor choices from the past would come back to haunt her. She deserves what comes. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You are the hero of this story. Actions have consequences. You did nothing wrong. It merely stated facts and truth about what happened between Camilla and your ex-fiancé. It would have been wrong for you to lie to Daniel as he deserved to know the truth to make an informed and decision. If it were you, I'm sure you would have wanted the same consideration as I know I definitely would have. Text Camilla, sorry to hear about you and Daniel, but hey, maybe you and Carl can get something going again. Funny thing is that after our engagement broke off, she did try to date Carl and he kicked her to the curb. I heard this from mutual friends. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my ex-best friend and other friends even after 6 years? I, 28 female, used to be best friends with Anna, 28 female, since high school. She was popular and outgoing, while I was the introverted, nerdy friend. In high school, I had a crush on Ethan, 28 male, but I assumed he'd prefer Anna, so I stayed out of it. They started dating, and I supported her reluctantly because of their toxic on-and-off relationship. Over time, I grew to dislike Ethan because he was rude and mean. They broke up when we were 21 but got back together a year later and eventually got engaged when we were 23. 3 months before the wedding, Ethan drunkenly called me, asking why I rejected him. I dismissed him, told him he was drunk, and ended the call. The very next day, I was kicked out of group chats and ghosted by everyone in our friend circle. When I texted my friends to ask what happened, they gave me the silent treatment. When I reached out to Anna, I found myself blocked. Desperate, I even tried calling Ethan, but my number was blocked too. I had no idea what I'd done wrong and wished someone would tell me. That week was hell. Anna's silence hurt the most because, at a time, she meant everything to me. I barely slept, battling panic attacks at night while trying to keep it together for class during the day. If not for my supportive roommates who helped me through my panic attacks, I don't know how I would have made it through. Anna and I attended the same local university but took different courses. I waited for her outside her class. When she came out with her friends, I pulled her aside and asked what was going on. She accused me of being a fake friend who tried to steal Ethan. I denied her accusation and asked for proof, but she went silent and walked away. They didn't unfriend me on Facebook but kept posting about their hangouts in a bridal shower, along with indirect jabs at me. I eventually deleted my old account and changed my number. I slowly rebuilt my self-esteem and moved on. I recently created a new Facebook account. A few days ago, I was added to a group chat for our upcoming reunion which I hadn't known about. They greeted me, calling me class president, as if they hadn't shunned me 6 years ago. I left the group, but they kept messaging me. Anna kept calling, so I finally picked up out of annoyance. She told me she was sorry for everything and wanted me to come to the class reunion party. She said a party didn't seem complete without the class president there every year. She also told me she divorced Ethan after 2 years of marriage. She said she had tried to reach out to me but couldn't find any of my socials or contact info after we graduated. I asked her why she was telling me all this when she wasn't important to me anymore. She cried. I ended the call and continued ignoring their messages on Messenger. My family says forgiveness is for my own peace and that it doesn't mean forgetting. But I don't feel anything anymore, only indifference. I don't owe them anything to ease their guilt. So am I the a-hole? 3 months before the wedding, Ethan drunkenly called me asking why I rejected him. You know what happened, right? Ethan wanted to date you, but Anna told him you rejected his interest, so he dated her. And him calling you made her feel threatened that her shady actions might be found out, so she then made up more lies that turned other friends against you. Now it's been long enough, and Ethan is no longer around that she feels safe bringing you around again, so she hit you up. Odds are others told her to reach out because y'all were such good friends. And if you refuse to go, she'll tell them something that makes you look bad as your reason. Regardless of whether you go or not, I'd contact someone who will be there and tell them that you won't attend because of the horrible way Anna treated you and that you just wanted someone to know the truth so that Anna can't lie about you yet again. Don't go if you don't want to, but don't let her get away with lying about you again. It's been 6 years and I know I've healed and found better friends. My current best friends are the roommates who supported me during university. But why does it still hurt? Despite everything, I always believed my friendship with Anna was genuine. Honestly, I doubt she even cares. She probably only reached out because she needed something from me. I have no interest in being friends with them anymore, but I just want to know the truth. If I ask why they abandoned me back then, would they even be honest? Or would they just shift the blame onto each other? Anna's always been the leader of their group. Whatever she says, everyone follows. Last story. Update. How can someone who isn't invited to a wedding be considered responsible for giving a gift? Original post. I would appreciate any advice or suggestions on how to approach this situation. I'll change the names of those involved. I have a group of friends, though not all of them are truly close to me. Most of them are more friends by association, but we all go out together and have a good time. I do consider Maddie and Jessie to be real friends. For Maddie's birthday, I got her a cake. Jessie had a small civil wedding, and Maddie offered to bring wine for the celebration at her place while I offered to bring a cake. There's a girl in a group named Carly, and my relationship with her is neither friendly nor unfriendly. She's always shown some apathy toward me, and I know she doesn't really like me. I don't dislike her, but I get the sense we wouldn't be friends since we have different perspectives. During the celebration, Carly commented that she liked the cake, and Jessie mentioned that I had brought it. Carly said it was good, but tasted a bit dry. Everyone exchanged looks and changed the subject, but Carly kept talking about the cake. I didn't say anything about it. Carly had been planning her wedding before Jessie got married. She used to invite Maddie, Jessie, and other girls to discuss prices and ask for opinions, but she never asked for my help or advice. I assumed I wasn't going to be invited. Everyone else got an invitation, and I wasn't surprised when I didn't receive one. Jessie wanted to talk to Carly about it, but I asked her not to, as I didn't want a pity invitation and understood that Carly wouldn't invite me because we're not friends. Jessie told me she wouldn't attend if it would make me feel bad, but I told her not to worry about it. Then, Carly messaged me on WhatsApp to ask about cake designs and filling options. I thought she already had that figured out since her wedding was coming up and she'd been planning it for a while. I sent her the catalog, and she commented on a few options she liked. She asked if I did a setup, to which I replied yes and sent her some sample photos. She only reacted to the photos with a thumbs up, and we didn't talk any further. She didn't ask for a quote or schedule a consultation, so I assumed she wasn't interested in my services. This was over a month ago. Today we went out to eat and everyone was talking about the wedding. Her fiancé asked who I'd be bringing. I'm single, so I told him I wouldn't be attending. He asked why, and to keep the mood light and avoid drama, I mentioned I'd be traveling to visit my parents. He understood, but Carly asked me when I was leaving. I told her I'd be leaving on Wednesday, and she said, "The wedding's on Saturday. How are you going to set up the cake and desserts?" I asked which cake she was referring to, and she replied, "The one you're bringing to my wedding." I told her we didn't have anything scheduled, and she insisted she had our messages. I clarified that I had only given her options and set up photos, and since she didn't follow up, I assumed she wasn't interested. Her fiancé asked if anything could be done about it. I explained that the bakery requires a contract and a deposit. Maddie asked if Carly had paid a deposit or requested a contract. Carly replied, asking why she would need to, since it was my wedding gift to her, and that I should make sure she had her cake for Saturday. I explained that I don't handle the bakery schedule, and that with the wedding so close, they wouldn't accept a new order. Carly seemed upset and looked very uncomfortable. I asked for my bill, paid, and said goodbye, saying I needed to go. I really don't want to lose my friendship with a group, since I'm not from this city and have felt uncomfortable with them. I don't want to create tension, but I also don't know how to handle conflicts. I know it's a bit sad that I can't stand up for myself and would rather avoid confrontation. Maddie told me that after I left, Carly said it wasn't fair for me to back out after agreeing, and some people in the group hinted that maybe I didn't want to go to the wedding because I didn't want to give her the cake. Jessie said I wasn't invited, and Carly replied that she had invited me. Now for the top comments before reading the update. It's not okay for her to expect a gift, especially a big cake, from someone she didn't even invite to her wedding. You were right to tell her you hadn't agreed to make the cake. It makes sense that you wouldn't want to give something so big to someone who doesn't seem to like you very much. And especially for me to give her that gift when we don't even have a relationship. Message all your friends and Carly in a group chat and clearly state that she didn't invite you. And for future interactions, there is nothing wrong to say that you haven't been invited when you haven't been invited. Update. I read a comment suggesting this is how updates are done here, so I hope those who gave me advice and asked for an update can see this. To those who ask why I didn't stand up for myself and let things get so out of hand, as I mentioned before, I don't like confronting people. I get nervous and feel like I can't breathe. When I had presentations in school, I used to throw up before and after each one. Sometimes, I've even kept items I didn't order or didn't want because I was too embarrassed to exchange them. I've been in therapy, and thanks to that, I'm now able to work as a cashier in a bakery. I don't think I could have done that before. I've come a long way, but I still get nervous speaking in public. I have a younger sister who used to go everywhere with me. I'd give her the money and she would pay, because just talking to the cashier would leave me breathless. I know people often feel sorry for those who seem weak, and I don't want to be seen that way or treated condescendingly. Someone sent me a private message asking about our ages. I'm 21, Maddie's 30, Carly's 30, Anna's 31, Carly's fiancé's 31, and Jessie's 30. I hope that helps clarify things. Now here's what happened next. Someone suggested what I could say to Carly, and I sent it to her. She replied, saying she thought I wouldn't mind and that I owed her a gift anyway, so she had chosen the cake as her gift. I replied that only guests are responsible for giving gifts. She asked what I meant, and I clarified that she hadn't invited me to the wedding. She left me on red. I messaged her fiancé something like, I don't want to cause drama or any misunderstandings, but I didn't commit to giving her the wedding cake. I sent him screenshots of our conversation, and he called me right away. He apologized and said he thought it was odd when Carly told him I had offered to give her the cake. I mentioned it seemed even stranger to me since I wasn't even invited. He asked if I was serious, and I told him yes, but that I wasn't upset and understood if it was a private event. He apologized again and we ended a call. Around noon, Carly messaged me saying I was making a fuss over nothing, as if I couldn't just give her the damn cake. She didn't understand why I was being so sensitive. saying I'd given Maddie a cake and Jessie one as well, and asked me to explain why I couldn't do the same for her. I replied that Maddie's cake was a birthday cake, and although Jessie's was for her wedding, it wasn't a wedding cake. Carly answered that it didn't matter what the cake was for. I told her that if that was the case, she could buy one from the supermarket. She started typing, but I blocked her before the message came through. Carly then sent a message to the group chat sharing only the part where I told her to buy it at the supermarket, saying it was insulting and showed how little I valued her wedding. She claimed she was the victim to make sure no one thought she was the bad one. I responded to the group with a suggestion someone gave me in a comment, slightly adapted. Hey everyone, I want to clear up some confusion and rumors. I won't be attending the wedding because I didn't receive an invitation. I understood and made other plans for that time since the rest of you were invited. I'm not hurt or upset. It is what it is. The confusion about the cake is as baffling to me as it is to you. I only provided information on models and fillings from the place where I work, and that's all. I don't understand why it's expected that I cover a cake for a wedding I'm not invited to. It's true I suggested a supermarket as she said the purpose of the cake didn't matter. I hope this clears everything up. I wish you all a wonderful time celebrating Carly and her fiancé. Congratulations in advance to the happy couple, and I hope those not involved don't feel caught in the middle. I posted screenshots of her reacting with a thumbs up when I sent the samples, along with all the conversations from that day and today. After a while, someone commented that the group wasn't meant for this kind of drama and that we should resolve it privately. Maddie jumped in and said, Carly demanded a cake in public, so it's only fair that everything is explained publicly. Another girl, Anna, commented, that's not the way to ask for a gift. Carly saw everything and sent a voice note saying she didn't know a simple cake would ruin my finances, but that it was fine, and that I shouldn't have shared everything in the chat. Then, she sent a second message saying that when I get married and don't have friends who can support me out with things from their jobs, I'll understand what it's like to be without support. A guy replied, tagging her, "You didn't invite her?" Carly responded, saying she had sent the invitation. Another guy asked, "Do you have the confirmation?" There was no reply. Question marks. Carly, "No, but she should have told me when she saw she didn't get the invite." Jessie replied, saying she didn't like Carly's attitude, that she even considered not going, and would only attend for the fiancé's sake. Carly then said, "So no one says I didn't invite you. Everyone can see here I'm inviting you now. I'll send an electronic invite since there's no point in printing one now." I replied not to bother, as I already had plans. Carly replied, "There you all. See?" Then, someone who hadn't spoken left the group.